map is starting. We'll figure out Songer's favorite food in just a second, but the map is Entombed Valley, and the matchup is...
Boom! Terran versus Protoss, and here spawning in the top right-hand corner of Entombed Valley as the red Protoss. He is up one... No, he is down. Wait, who won the last game?
No, KsChacal won.
KsChacal is down 0-1. It is our red Protoss, KS, Killing Spree's KsSoultouch.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner of Entombed Valley, it's the blue Terran, sorry, KsChacal.
I'm pretty sure we can change this layout.
I think it can change in the middle. So maybe Tony Tran, our other production guy, can tell you how to change it in the midst of the game. If it can't, whatever, guys. What you're seeing right now is one of the different UIs that the GameHeART production is capable of. So there we go.
Hey.
We did it. We figured it out. We can quit the stream right now. So that was just one of the different ones. He's got a whole bunch, and he was asking us our favorite. We tend to like this one because it seems very out of the way. Doesn't block as much.
I had a whole why this one was the best.
Because it's out of the way?
Well, that's the thing. I was saying, like, when human vision, right? When you're looking at a screen, your focus is on the center.
In the middle, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And your focus is on the center where most of the action actually happens. So it's better to be at the top where you can just glance up and whatnot. KsChacal's Protoss last game. This game he's going to be playing Terran, so he definitely is a random player. You know, very formidable with all three races. So very impressed here. And it looks like some of our friends have joined us on stream. Citron15 once again.
Citron, you follow us everywhere. I love you, man. I hope you don't troll us very hard today.
And Henry's here too.
Hendrilisk? I love you, Henry. I love you. And Moosey too. We got to give a shout out to Moosey and our new friend Marine Kim Prime. I hope I find you in our chats more often because you are a good man. But we have Gateway and Rax coming up for both players, producing the economy, producing the buildings that will produce the army. But Songers, you are on a desert island, and you have only one food for the rest of your life. What would you choose?
Dumplings.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. That's all I need.
Okay, that's not the right answer.
What's the right answer? Tell me the right answer.
Pizza.
Because you can have any sort of thing.
Exactly! Pizza's everything!
That's
not a cop-out, that's an intelligent
Dumplings,
choice.
you can have anything.
No, you can have pork, or you could have, I don't know, do they make veggie as well?
Yeah, they do.
That's it. Pork or veggie.
I could have beef, I could have lamb, I could have chicken, I could have chives, I could have lettuce, I could have cabbage, I could have carrots, I could have mushroom.
On a pizza, I could have all those things at once.
It doesn't matter. I could have like this huge, crazy, you know,
that's
dumpling
not a dumpling
mix.
then.
Yeah, it is.
If you went to a place where they eat lots of dumplings and you're like, this is my new dumpling, would they be like, yeah, I really like that dumpling? No, they would be like, that's an abomination.
You're terrible. Anyways,
take your
stop talking about
not
food.
my race
we need to talk about
dumpling out of here.
In this game, guys, if you were watching while Frank and I were having our little rant going on, both players went for a very early expansion there. Terran going for a gasless expand. Protoss going for his Cybercore before laying down an expansion. And they will finish at approximately the same time. 2 more barracks coming down for KsChacal. So very standard play from our Terran player right here.
So one SCV does get sliced down by the 2 side blades of that Zealot in the base of KsSoultouch. So another SCV is charging across the map. He will take control of that Zelnaga Tower for only a couple seconds before he relinquishes sight. And this next Zealot might come in and try to attack it. Yes, but he's too slow. He now will be forced to eat the exhaust fumes of that SCV who's got boosters going on his run. 4 Marines are standing at the top of this ramp, beautifully spread out, waiting to receive any sort of aggression from KsSoultouch, but none is forthcoming. The bunker is now done. These Marines will be able to run to the safety of that bunker very soon.
What do you think KsChacal's main race is?
Main race?
Yeah.
I don't know. We've only seen one game, bro.
I know, but I'm just looking at his Terran plane. It looks very, very slick right now.
These Timbits are very good.
They're made with cocaine.
Are they?
Probably.
Oh, that's why.
They're very addicting.
That is why. They reminded me of... I can't say it on stream.
So early engineering bay coming down for KsChacal. Really wants to be ahead in those upgrades. And in a Protoss versus Terran matchup, you do want to be ahead of those upgrades just because of the Chrono Boost and how fast Protoss can get those upgrades. So we see that now. Tech Lab also finishing up for our Terran. Going to be starting that stim right there. And... oh, we already have the Robo finished for our Protoss, so gonna get another scout.
GameHeART UI showing us that the stim is being produced, and now this Zealot Stalker in the middle of the map are gonna have a little bit of sight. Might be able to see it if he doesn't try to skirt around the vision of that Zealot tower.
I really wish that hallucination upgrade was here already and doesn't have to wait for HOTS for it. Because, you know, it's just so hard to
we could
scout.
turn on our hacks.
So hard.
You know what?
to
I wish
scout.
you could just see the entire map all the time. Wouldn't that be sick?
No, that would be take away from the game.
Maybe add to the game.
Ah, I like that. I like that missile tower. So, you know, getting that early engineering bay gives it 2 advantages, right? First, you can start off your upgrades earlier. Also, get this missile turret that, you know, any observer is going to fly out, and here comes the observer, and he's going to have a bad time.
Yeah, maybe even fearing the DT rush that is very powerful versus Terran, because they force out a bunch of scans and they force out this inability to see things otherwise. So the observer is now on its way. It is going to come up right towards the ramp. The production in the base of the Protoss is growing exponentially as the Colossus production buildings are being created, and now the observer actually very smartly right at the edge. Oh, and it does get shot down. So the vision of that missile turret is wide enough such that that bunker was able to shoot down that observer, completely making Soultouch play in the dark right now.
Definitely, very nice play there. Soultouch really doesn't know much of what's going on. However, he did lay down an expansion, and this SCV is going to go in at the perfect time and is able to scout this. Yeah. But we'll see if KsChacal decides to punish this expansion right now. His stim is almost complete. +1 versus half. +1. Well, I just said weapons halfway down, and here come the sentry and the zealot trying to stop this SCV from doing any additional scouting.
No weapons or armor upgrades for our Protoss player, but he is producing Colossus as rapidly as those slow producing Colossus can possibly build. A couple more sentries are also in production just to take care of this annoying SCV that just stole 5 minerals that will be forever lost to the ether. There is even now the thermal lens is being chrono boosted, so he's desperately wanting to get his Colossus ticked up as fast as possible. He knows he needs that splash damage versus his Marine opponent. And now that his Terran opponent is building medevacs, maybe after a certain number he'll start getting his Vikings to hard counter those Colossus.
Or he might just go for an early push. I'm wondering if he's going to just move out when these 2 medevacs are done. I don't think he wants to wait too long until this Colossus number gets ridiculous. I mean, at the same time, there's already a 3rd base going up. There's going to be so much economy coming up for Soultouch, and you can see he's already working on those 3rd rocks, just so the transfer of probes is going to be a little quicker. 1 Colossus already out, 2nd one about to pop, and here comes that push we're talking about, the 10-minute push. However, with this Colossus out, the number of force fields, I don't think it's going to do too much damage.
The Colossus does make his army in general slower, so it'll be all about positioning, and he does have to defend 3 bases, so this might be tricky to play, and this one stalker does get shut down by some beautiful stutter step. This Marine army is now quickly moving across. Level 1 weapons is already completed. You can see it in the top left of KsChacal's UI. The rocks have been destroyed just in time, but now this is going to be very tricky. How does he defend all 3 bases against these very quick Marines? And it looks like the positioning is very difficult, and he's trying to come in here. 1 probe loses its life. The Marines get picked up. 1 Marine is too heavy to be picked up. The cargo capacity of that medevac ensured his death, and now a full drop coming to the natural of Soultouch. How will he deal with this impending danger?
He's got the setup now, you know, now splitting the army off to one side, 1 medevac on one side. Here comes Stalkers, nicely positioned. They're going to get a couple of shots onto that medevac, but here comes the Marauder drops down, and there goes all the Stalkers. Here comes the whole army of Soultouch here, going to defend, but now back in the 3rd base, Marines running in, stimming up, going to be shooting those probes, so many probes going down, and now full rain over this base. Colossus and a couple sentries going on. This will be enough to clear up this Marine ball, and it looks like there's been a nice split of the army here, and Soultouch has defended.
Looks like he's stabilized a little bit. A bad rally for those couple medevacs at the natural might ensure their death. A couple Vikings are now being rallied to the front, along with some bio army. This 1 stalker valiantly shooting that medevac to bring him down to below half, but it's not enough. It looks like KsChacal is ready to push again very shortly. He is streaming as many units as he possibly can, and with the Vikings out, he may be able to hard counter these Colossus well enough, but the stalker numbers are pretty high, and it looks like Soultouch was able to defend this relatively well. He did lose a little bit of his economy, but still, his probe count is at 58. His opponent's SCV count is at 42, as you can see in the top of the GameHeART UI, and only now is KsChacal getting his 3rd base.
Exactly. You know, with that defense now, I mean, he gets his 3rd base up, he can drop a couple of meals. We see the Viking production has already started, and here comes the Twilight Council, so the transition into Storm is going to be happening for our Protoss player here. Double Forge also going down. He might have noticed the upgrade difference that he had in the last fight. That Terran's already up 1. Mr. Floating Observer Factory is going to be shot down.
And this is critical. Is there an armory inside of the base of KsChacal? Because if there isn't, this armory going down could be a huge... No, there must be, because level 2 weapons are already on their way. So the factory scout does go down, and And now these Marines are going to be quickly getting out of dodge. A small task force is being brought around the north side of the base, as you just saw, and it looks like most of the army of SoulTouch is being rallied right to the center. It looks like SoulTouch wants to do a big push. The small contingent of the Terran and Marauder group at the north is now moving into the third as well. They might be able to do a little bit of damage. It might be able to give pause to that large Protoss army. They're going right into the mineral line, deciding to shoot all these probes. One Protoss probe goes down, another one goes down, but now the army decides to push forward. Steady as she goes, comes forward with the laser beams, wiping clean this entire economy, and the force fields are blocking absolutely no one from getting in or out. And now the Marines are coming forward with Marauders, shooting as much as they can. The concave is relatively decent. The Vikings are shooting the Colossus as fast as they can. Only one Colossus remains, doing as much splash damage as they possibly can. The Marauders are almost down to no numbers at all. A bunch of Vikings remain and not able to do anything but fall and fall again. And now it looks like that actually KsChacal might be able to stabilize here.
My goodness, there was just no pylon for any sort of warp in. You can see that the army now reinforcements coming through the middle of the map, but they had to be warped in at the base, and only Stalkers against Marauders. It's not going to work.
Not a fair fight at all, and those Marauders made quick work of those Stalkers. So in all, he was able to slow down that third base, was able to kill a little bit of the economy, but he really lost all of his army for it. And if you look at the upgrades, which you guys can see at all times, in the top left-hand corner, you see that KsChacal is already at 1-1, and SoulTouch has only his 1-1 completing just in a couple seconds. 2-2 is already on its way. I can't quite see the 2-2. So level 2 weapons is already done. Level 2 armor is on its way for KsChacal. So the upgrade advantage is actually going to the Terran, which is a little odd in this matchup. Typically, you see Protoss able to chrono boost those upgrades a lot faster.
Definitely, it's going to be really hard to go into the next fight because the DPS ball of the Marines is already high enough. We see a lot of Zealots now. Charge has completed. Although, in terms of workers, Protoss is definitely ahead. He was able to take out this third base for a little bit during that fight over there. So, you know, Terran having to recover from that is going to be okay. I'm not sure about this moving out right now. I don't think he really wants to move out. I mean, the armory is small compared to what the Protoss have. And with those number of Zealots, it's going to be a lot of kiting there. But here comes another drop. Just trying to keep the Protoss on edge. He needs to push this advantage as much as he can.
He needs something to defend against this. Not sure if he wants to bring in a High Templar as quickly as he can just to feed back. But now it looks like these units are going to be dropped on the high ground to shoot down, rain fire on this mineral line, already able to take out a few drones or probes, and now the rest of the army is coming here to defend against this push, and the Nexus is getting chopped down very quickly. These Marauders are shooting down this Colossus, and they might take down the Colossus very quickly because of the extra damage to Armored, and they do indeed kill the Colossus. Now these Zealots can't do anything at all. An Archon being warped in and may be able to kill this. No, they aren't able to get the medevac in time. All he needs is just 1 or 2 shots from that Stalker, and these Zealots do come in and clean that up, and the medevac is left. And now the rest of the army, this army is getting torn apart. Beautiful play by KsChacal to keep the Protoss on his toes at all times.
And we can see that Storm research is nearing completion. No
Blink on its way too.
Blink is on its way. Yes,
but level 3 weapons is on its way.
And once Terran gets that level 3 weapons, I mean, against Protoss is still at 1-1. He's going to tear through this army. However, Storm might be the saving grace for SoulTouch here. I don't think there is a Ghost Academy on the way at all for our Terran player. No. So no EMPs against a bunch of Templar. It's gonna
could be a bad time. He did see, he definitely knows that they're on the field. He did watch the Archon being warped in, so he knows that tech is available. He himself is not bringing the hard counter to the field, though. Happy to stick with his Vikings, which will be moot once the Colossus disappear.
I think they already have.
I think there's one in that army, actually.
Oh, that's right.
There is one, yeah. And a whole bunch of High Templars, so some money storms could really make the difference here. You do see that SoulTouch is bringing his army right near the eSports Canada logo, and the pylons this time are going to allow him to reinforce his army right up front. And
there you go. There's 2 Templars warping in right now. I like the use of supply depots here. It really helps against that Zealot charge. Won't be able to wrap around the army at all, but it looks like SoulTouch wants blood. Here comes his army of Zealots charging forward. He's going to be met with these supply depots, though. Might decide to back off, or he's just going to funnel. He looks like he's just going to go funnel straight. Nice storm on the army there, covering most of them. More storms coming down. This is just brutal to watch. So much AoE damage here. More Templars coming in. Zealots are just charging ahead. They're zombies. They're not dying right now. Another storm on the Marines. It looks like he might have done it.
These Storms have been absolutely pinnacle in this battle, and even having to land those Vikings because there's no more Colossus, and this is where the Ghost Academy would have came in handy, but there is none. It's only produced right now a Storm even on his High Templars themselves, pushing forward valiantly. The Zealots charging forward, slicing through the metal of those supply depots. The scan, for some reason, only to show his despair, and now
comes out from KsChacal.